What's up, everyone? Welcome back to episode 90 of the Average Aussies Premier League podcast. If you listen to us on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify, don't forget to give us a like, give us a follow, give us a 5-star rating. It massively helps us out. Check us out on Instagram, TikTok, subscribe on YouTube. Go to www.averageaussies.com.au if you want. There's heaps of merch still left there. And yeah, let's get into it. Boys, let's talk some Premier League. I don't know where you want. Do you want to start with your heartache beef and just fucking get out of the way?
I could
Start.
Yeah,
with
why
my
not?
joy,
Fuck
or do
it.
you want to start with Smitty's melancholy?
We'll put the draw in the middle. Makes sense. I'll go first. I'll
You
get
going
it out
first?
of my soul.
You're
yeah.
going first?
Yeah, yeah.
Really? Okay, I didn't see that coming.
So,
Tell
again,
everyone, please tell everyone the score first.
mate, you guessed it, 3-2 Brighton.
I did say that, didn't I?
I said 3-2 Spurs.
Oh, fuck, that's the second week in a row I think I've picked a score. I need to start putting money on
So
that.
it was what we expected. Super open game. Entertaining. First half was exactly what's fucking happened to us in the first 7 games, which
That's
is
pure Ange ball.
we come flying out of the gate. We miss 4 chances. We put 1 away. And then at half time, we think, fuck, we should be 5-0 up. And then they come back in the second half. So biggest tale of two halves you've ever seen. And we pulled an absolute fucking heartilage in that second half. Ange is fuming.
He was fucking blowing up,
Mate.
wasn't he? It was fucking scarce in the corner of his mouth.
It was so that first half we dominated Brighton. They couldn't touch the ball, man. And Werner, if Son Heung-min's on the left, we're up 5-0 at half time. Every time the ball went to Werner, he went like,
I've seen.
and like kicked he just side foots it into the first defender.
And was he offside for one of your goals as well?
He's offside 5 times a game.
He can't stay onside that.
He can't shoot. And every time he kicks the ball, he falls on his knees and holds his head like, oh no, like, oh, what a shame I've just missed that chance. But it's like, oh no, I'm fucking horrible.
I just want to know, how the fuck did he get a call up to come back? Like, what did you see in him that said, Timo Werner, I can see him going another season at
Cheap,
Spurs.
because he's on loan. That's
Cheap?
That's all they saw. So it should be Son Heung-min out there. Richarlison can even come on there. They're both injured. Menos Solomon, who like missed half of last year.
Solomon, yeah.
And Andrew's saying, I've got no one else. I've just got to start this bloke. And you should see Ange, every time Werner gets the ball and fucks it up, Ange just goes like,
You know,
Walks back to his
when
spot.
he puts the hands in the pockets, the head goes down, and he just starts walking along the sideline. You're like, oh, someone's copping a fucking
Mate.
spray here.
So at halftime, I was so excited because I'm like, we just dominated these guys. We could come out and win 5-0 here. Brennan Johnson scored 6 in 6 now.
Yeah, I'd like to
He's
hear
hot.
what your assessment of this second half is going to be, because I've got a few questions for you.
Okay. Well, I'll touch on the good bits before I fall into that
Yeah.
pit of despair.
Okay. Brennan Johnson's goal was very nice.
Very
actually,
good.
Yeah.
Solanke's looking like a top quality player. He's settled right in. Not
the Smudge Gameras are really eyeing him off in fucking fantasy at the moment. Really fucking eyeing
Johnson
him
or
off at the moment.
Solanke?
Solanke and Johnson.
Go Johnson.
time.
So Johnson's scored like 11-7, 11-7. last 4
At
games.
what stage do you reckon can you start to consider Vardy record? Like, I was saying this when Vardy was going for the record on Ruud van Nistelrooy. You know, the 11 in a row.
Yeah.
At what game do you start to kind of go like,
Well,
here we go?
Hang on. So
Maybe
what's the
8?
record is Johnson chasing a record here?
No, he's still a bit off. But I'm saying, like, at
scored
what,
6
at what
games in a row.
stage do you go?
but it's not 6
I wonder
Premier
if we
League
can-
games in a row.
Is it not?
No.
Oh, I thought I heard Premier League. the
No,
other day.
fuck no.
Oh, okay.
My
My
Kai
apologies.
Havertz is chasing a record
Yeah.
too.
So Ferner actually got an assist, but it's the easiest assist you'll ever see. Just come out to him, passed it back, and
Actually
John-
come off his shin and he just
Yeah.
like fell over.
It shouldn't have been a goal. Madison just had a shot, went right under the keeper's arms.
Yeah, keeper was.
Yeah.
I did have that in my notes.
But
Keeper was
if the game stopped at half time, I'd be buzzing, jumping off my chair because we were so good. Solanke, link up play, like Johnson on the right, Kulusevski in the middle. I was so erect. And then
close to his eyes.
something happened at half time that you've never seen before. So we came out that second half, and in 18 minutes they scored 3 goals,
Yeah.
and we didn't even touch the ball.
It was fucking cooked, man.
I've never seen anything like it. How can you go from dominating a team at home, and they're hard to play at the MX, and then come out and just be fucked?
Yeah, I watched the game. It was bizarre. Like, I actually thought they were really good on the ball in the first half. It's just you just completely dominated them off.
Yeah, I was going to say Brighton probably deserve a bit of credit on the ball, but yeah, off the ball is where you were winning the first half as well. Just winning it back because it's just two high lines versus each other. And it's like pretty much whichever high line comes out on top in the first half, technically should go on to win the game because you play
Definitely.
that type of football. Right?
Exactly. 2-0 up away from home.
You've got your number.
Oh, Ange
Should
would
be
have thought
enough,
it was a 4-0.
So the assessment I make of it is that they, after 5 wins in a row, they've gone in at halftime and gone, fuck, we've got our Spurs back. Like, this is what we did at the start of last season. Like, all the players are fit. Let's go out and just win 3-0. But after that first goal, there was no leadership on the field. No one like fired them up. No one ran around, went what the fuck to their own players. I was just
The defence, to be fair,
horrid.
was like that second goal. I was like, what the fuck did I just watch there?
Yeah.
Like, it was like people just falling over next to the ball. And I'm like,
Yep.
is anyone going to stick a foot in or
Yep.
something?
Which is the most frustrating thing, because the defence I was excited about last week. We played so good against United, and
Was Mickey Van der Ven injured?
and he looked injured. Oh, that Minty dude was fucking him up.
He's from Newcastle.
Former Newcastle.
Yeah.
Mate,
He was one of those backhand deals to fucking
He did,
balance the books.
That's it, mate.
So the first goal, you doggy did like an under 10s air swing, come off his heel. Like,
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
fucking
that was
horrid
bad.
as
That
well.
was bad.
Like,
he was like
There was no
he
intent.
was a man of the match performance almost against United. So I don't know what's happened here. Where what I hope is going to happen is that this is a building block for a team. That's the only positive I can think of is Ange
You're-
firing up at him is needed.
Your consistency, I think, is going to be the thing that unsticks you this year.
And
Like, you get up for the big games and you're fired up, and you saw it last week. And there was even stuff on social media of like Mickey Van der Ven watching his assists like back to back.
Yeah.
Like a good coach, like I think Ange is a good coach actually, but like the elite coaches would be like, get the fuck off that and stop
Exactly.
watching that. You
Not
go,
one.
100%.
Not one.
On to the
good
next game.
Do you, exactly, man. And it's a hard one to take because 5 on the trot. We would have moved up to 6th or 5th,
Yeah,
and
it
now
was,
we're
it was
stuck down in 9th.
That was the other thing I was going to say. Brighton, they're up there now.
Yeah.
They're probably where you should be.
They
to
are.
be fair.
They're where we would
And
have
probably
been.
playing like you probably wish you were.
Mate,
Yeah.
they have such a good situation at the moment.
They've always seen.
How do they do it?
Evan Ferguson, Danny Welbeck looks like his fucking younger
I was
self.
going
Like,
to say, once a gooner, always a gooner, scoring a fucking winner.
and he's, but he's a Man United
Bro,
fan.
that
so
Welbeck goal.
But he did play for Arsenal. So.
he, like most players, when they get to that older age, they become a little bit more pragmatic.
Yes.
With him, he's different. He's actually
He's
become
charging
trickier.
for it, yeah.
He's become trickier and like almost using his skill to, score goals and stuff
Yeah.
now, which is just like.
And
It's,
if you
it's kind of like a Kai Havertz in a way. Like,
Yeah.
he's not really a 9 or a 10. He's
somewhere in between.
fucking
yeah.
fit somewhere and he's doing it. It's just, it's
Yeah,
really
well, we should
impressive.
have
Yeah, I like
been
that
all over him.
analysis, actually.
We should have been all over him. That goal that he scored.
But I also
Horrendous
think that,
defending.
I also think that people underestimate Danny Welbeck too, because he was at United, kind of flopped a little bit, but had a fucking sensational season. Went to Arsenal, what didn't really hit the heights of Manchester United, but still was scoring goals. And now he's at Brighton, so
Just had really bad injuries as well.
that's the other
Like,
thing
just
too,
unlucky
yeah.
with shit like that.
unlucky. But he's got the talent. When he was at United, he was the next fucking
Yeah.
big thing. He was the next,
Van Nistelrooy for
That's the
sure.
one, yeah.
100%.
Yeah, he could have scored 2. That second one, he should have scored the first one, and then that second one, I couldn't even believe it.
Yeah.
Just diabolical.
And
no defending.
Jorginho Rutter, not to be confused with an Australian mad Rutter, but
red-headed rat rooter.
but yeah, football. I come from Leeds, seen a fair bit of him last year. Didn't think he'd be able to do it in the Prem, but
He
scored
was-
2 goals already.
He had an assist.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he set up the last for Welbeck.
He was good, man. They just find
Yeah,
him.
they do.
They just find
do.
him. It's just this statistics. Money.
And he's also only 5.5 on fantasy
Oh.
for anyone kind of looking for a cheap striker.
I am. I captained Haaland this week. Devastating.
Oh, another blank.
That's the most Spursy thing. The
I was
statistic.
going to say, I don't want to bring up the word Spursy, but that second half is the epitome of
Exactly.
Spursy.
So-
Like, if you looked it up in the dictionary, that's what you'd find.
We're the highest in Premier League history of throwing away 2-0 lead.
In
Now-
history.
Yeah.
I want to go to something else.
Is that surprising?
That's fucking
You're probably not going to agree with it, but it's all around the media at the moment. It's like heaping the pressure on Ange is his philosophy. So the whole thing around putting philosophy over actually winning games. So there's an argument to say if you're 2-0 up away from home, the first thing you should be telling your players is to come out. Like, obviously, yeah, still play football, but compact, sit tight. Like, don't just go and press and high line and just try and absolutely kill them again. If you're like 2-0 away from home in the Premier League, is probably the most dangerous scoreline in world sport, really.
Yeah,
Because-
But then you've got people like Ten Hag who has won 2 trophies and they still fucking hate him.
yeah.
It's just like with that kind of stuff, when you're doing something that's not right down the middle, the media's just always going to come for you. It's like,
I agree, but I'd like the fact that Ange has his philosophy and sticks to it, but that's the time where you like, and especially after that first goal, you go, oh fuck, this doesn't look great. There's something going on here. Either make changes or change the formation, or say, listen, boys, all you got to do, and they made a good point. I think it was on Kelly and Ryder. That whoever the Sheila journalist was on there, she was fucking gun, but she made a good point. Like, all you really have to do in that situation is weather that 10, 15 minutes where Brighton storm back at the start of they're coming out hard in the start of the first half. You know they're going to go balls to the wall and take you on because that's what type of team they are. Literally, all you'd be saying is, boys, sit tight for like the first 15 minutes, just weather that like onslaught of attack, hold your shape, and then you can play a bit of footy again. Because, the whole philosophy of play football to win, score more goals, you've done that in the first half. Now, that second half, just sit tight, like win 2-0. Like, you can ask any Spurs fan there, would you rather watch a shitty second half where you just defend and like hold them out and you win 2-0, or would you rather like play that high line, that full attacking football and lose 3-2? Like, which one would you prefer?
Yeah, there's a lot of things with this argument. I think the first is, of course, we'd prefer that than losing 3-2. That's obvious. The second one is Ange Ball and the way he does it has won him trophies at every club he's been at. So that's another thing. It's if we were to do the come out balls to the wall at the start, try to score a couple of goals and then change to more defensive, that would actually be a full change in his strategy and be like, okay, we play Ange Ball at the start, but then once we're 2 up, we don't anymore. So it would be a big shift if he did that, because I think he's now said, I would never do that.
Yeah.
So,
and I think that's where he's going to like set himself on fire.
Maybe, but it hasn't. He's won trophies doing that. So
now the problem is he's putting massive amounts of pressure on himself, which obviously he probably must enjoy because otherwise he wouldn't do it. But to come out in the second half and say that's the worst performance I've ever seen from this fucking side since I've been here, like to come out and say I always win trophies in my second season, like he's just heaping pressure on himself to be like, well, you said it, mate, and you haven't pulled it off. So he's only 7 games. Is it 7 games into his second season? So I think it's on the players that second half. I was going to say
they were fucking terrible.
You can't manage individual errors, which was what that second
That's
half
right.
was.
So,
just like in terms of that defense, like playing that style, if your midfield just are off for a couple of passes, you're just heaping pressure on your defense. So you should be like more accustomed to maybe defense making a bit of an error, because there could be that period where a team like Brighton are winning the ball high up and just
absolutely. If you don't sit in, if a team's got possession and momentum like Brighton did, if you don't sit in, then that's what happens.
That's what happens, yeah.
Because we didn't. We tried to keep playing the way we were, but we weren't playing the way that Ange wants us to play, and we played in the first half. So it's not like we were playing the same high press, high energy, winning duels, winning 50-50s. We weren't doing any of that. We were playing like we were fucking from League One.
Yeah.
We were dreadful.
And I think that's the point, I guess, if you're a yard off and you see that happening, it should be like, oh, give me like change something where it's like, oh, just double pivot for like, 15 minutes. Just sit in, just get someone to sit in and kind of break up that onslaught just at the back four and try and win the ball back a bit and just hold a bit of possession until you peter them out and then go back to your football, you know what I mean? Because that's what happens. You're a yard off, coming off, you're a bit like sluggish coming out for the second half, and bang, a team like Brighton's got you, you're done.
Yeah, we could argue this for hours, and I'm not hard left or hard right on this at all. I want to see Ange over a few years.
Are you teal?
I want to see it over a few years.
Or family first party.
Like he's won everywhere else. Japan, Australia, he's won. So
yeah,
I want to see 2 full years of Ange Ball and then
So
start
if he doesn't
discussing
win
change.
anything this season,
Yep.
then it's like, all right, Ange, it's time to go.
Not go. It's time to try something new.
Time to adapt.
Yeah.
Mate, he'll die on the hill rather than fucking
Yeah, he'll never change.
than die on his knees. You know what I mean? Like
I agree.
And
worst
Spurs just
start in
shit.
16 years.
Exactly, man. Yeah.
2008.
Yeah.
What position did you finish that year? I looked it up.
Don't know, but he got fired after 12 games, I think. What's his name? Ramos. He was shit.
Oh yeah.
I said, yeah.
No.
I believe it was
But he
8th or 9th. I looked at it yesterday.
He had
Quite
2
interesting.
points after 10 games or something
What are you on
horrible.
now?
10 points after 7.
Yeah.
So, yeah, worst start in 16 years.
I still back him. I mean, obviously patriotic bias involved in it, but
Yeah.
I genuinely every week kind of circle the Spurs game and see what time it's on because I'd watch it.
Yeah,
like
it's
they're
entertaining,
entertaining to watch.
And we just won 5 in a row. So, Spurs
Yeah,
fans,
exactly.
there is no Spurs fans listening, but I need to find out if there is. We've won 5 in a row. We had one shocking half. So, it's got nothing to do with. I don't think that defense debacle can reflect on Ange. He could have
I
adapted and subbed earlier. I think he can. I don't think he will or should change this season. I want to see him just play like he's done. That's won him trophies. Not change and then go, I shouldn't have changed. Fuck. Should have stuck to my... And then he gets sacked.
You're finishing 9th this season?
No.
No, if you do.
Oh.
What happens there?
He'll be sacked before
Because
the
that's
end.
what I mean. Like, it's just those small moments in these games, like that one half. But, there's been a couple of occasions where you've had that kind of happen in a game and you're like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Mate, there's no denying we are a long way off the top 4.
It's just a matter
Or
of
the top 3.
I think for Ange, it's just a matter of trying to find consistency out of a side that hasn't really had any for a long
And
time.
he's not going to make fundamental strategy changes in a football match. He's made that really clear. He's going to stick to his way because it's won him trophies. And he's going to build his team up over 2 or 3 years to try to win a trophy. So if Spurs fans are hoping that he changes his tactics at the 60th minute, fuck. No chance.
No chance.
You're supporting the wrong team, fellas.
Well, you're doing that anyway, but
Yeah.
Hey, man.
Mate, I'm not backing it up this week. I'm off him. I'm off him. I haven't worn my Spurs hat, my Spurs shirt.
That's big for
Fuck
you.
'em. I know.
You're a big merch guy. You're a big merch guy.
Mate, it's hard. All last year, end of last year, I'm like, second year. It's all right. We can fuck out this year, second year. And we're coming fucking 9th.
this is the fucking 7th game, mate.
I know. I
Sixth
just
game,
had to throw in a little bit of despair there. All right, that's me done.